morning to you all. I'm Leon Forsman, a mediator. Now, immediately you would ask, what is a mediator? Well, it's not that difficult to discern what it is, because it has to do with making peace. That is at the heart of the process of mediation. It is to help parties deal with the conflicts and the disputes in their lives that they cannot resolve on their own. If I can refer to a more structured definition of mediation to make it a bit more understandable perhaps, I would say mediation is a structured, interactive process where an impartial third party assists disputing parties in resolving conflict through the use of specialized communication and negotiation techniques. In the world that we live in, there are two main avenues that we have to resolve conflict. The first is litigation. If I'm in a dispute with someone, we go and see each our own lawyer, and that lawyer will then represent us at court so that a magistrate or a judge can make a ruling on who wins the case and who loses the case. And in that way, the dispute or the conflict is then resolved through litigation. The second method is mediation. That is where two parties have a dispute or a conflict. They then get, as the definition I read said, a third party who is trained and who has the ability to help the parties come to a mutually acceptable solution to their conflict. What is interesting about mediation and makes it actually a wonderful process to follow is the fact, if one looks at everything, is that it is cheaper than any litigated process. It takes less time to develop a resolution to the conflict, and that is quite important to note, that it is cheaper. It's not cheap, but it's cheaper than any other form like litigation in the end. And the resolve to the disputed matter is resolved much quicker. Here's another very important aspect or benefit to mediation. It is confidential. In litigation, the dispute is handled by the magistrate in an open court where anybody can come and sit and listen to what is litigated in the court. In mediation, it's only the parties and the mediator. And everything that is said within the context of mediation is privileged information and may not be used against the other party in a court of law. In that sense, very sensitive issues stays confidential. The agreement is also then a confidential agreement that was reached. Another very big aspect of mediation is that the control over the process is in the hands of the mediator on the one hand, but the outcome of the disputed situation is in the hands of the parties in mediation. In that sense, that mediation is always in the parties always has the control over the outcome, what is decided. It is also a mutually beneficial process. Why? Because when you walk out of mediation, there aren't losers and winners. There are only winners. A good analogy that I can use is that of two brothers that got into a dispute over a lemon. One little lemon. Both of them wanted the lemon. The first one, they discussed the matter from every angle and decided the only way is to share the lemon by cutting it in two. Then the one brother, let's call him Brother Pete, went and he took his half of the lemon and he took the flesh out of the lemon and threw it away. And the other brother looked at him and said, "Why did you do that?" So Pete said to, let's call the other brother Josh, said to Josh, "That's all I wanted is the skin, so that I can make some lemonade for myself." On the other hand, Josh only wanted the flesh of the lemon. Now in mediation, we start to discuss what are the needs and the wants and everything pertaining to the dispute. And then we reach an agreement where each party gets, in a certain sense, that what he really wanted. If those two brothers, Pete and Josh, really sat down and listened to each other's needs and wants, they would have realized they could have won and walked out of the room both as winners. The one with the whole lemon skin and the other one with all the flesh of the lemon. You see, that is how the process works. Now, anything can be mediated, dear friends, and I'm just going to list a few of them. One of the big areas in which mediation is working very well is in family life, where it has to do with maintenance, the divorce of parents, and then how are those divorced or separated parents going to take care of their minor children. Workplace. In South Africa, we've got the CCMA, where mediation plays a very big role. But there is also a process of mediation that can be followed before it goes to the CCMA. There is commercial mediation. There is public disputes or community disputes that can be mediated. There is medical negligence and road assistance mediation as well. There is also the process of restorative justice, where criminal cases can be mediated under certain circumstances. You see, mediation is part of our lives. In many cases, we do it at home. We start discussing the disputes we have, especially when it's low-level kind of disputes that people aren't usually that passionate about. What we can be assured of is that all of us, at some point in our lives, will experience a dispute or a conflict. And sometimes that dispute and conflict cannot be resolved by just sitting around a table with the other party and discussing your needs and your wants. Sometimes you need a professional like myself. You are more than welcome to contact me at 081 407 0321. Let me repeat my number. 081 407 0321 or 081 706 0404. You're more than welcome. I will be able to help most of you with the disputes and the conflicts that you have. And if you need more information, you're also welcome to contact me. Keep well and keep safe, and thank you for the opportunity to talk.